In Lommel, the track was completely revamped, but the deep sands still remained. And I think with a track like Lommel, okay, it's nice to change it up and mix it up. It just makes it a little bit more interesting. But Lommel will always be Lommel.
Same location, new layout, and of course, riders, teams, they ride there during the season when they need to. Every rider you speak to will say, riding Lommel during the week is tough, but racing it on a weekend is even tougher because they prepare the track differently. If you look around the confines of the floor space, they build the track up as well, so automatically it's even deeper than normal.
It really does separate the men from the boys, and that's the feedback that I got. It doesn't matter how many changes there are on that track, it's still going to be tough.
This year, the track, a brand new location for the start, it's longer, and it's almost unrecognizable compared to years gone by where it has been the same, or the same layout but in the opposite direction. And so it'll be a real test. There are a lot more 180 switchbacks. The track looks like it could be a lot slower. Now, if it's slower, the track is going to be heavier. If it's heavier, it's more physical on the riders. So it's not a foregone conclusion that someone like Jorge Prado, for instance, will just walk away with it. Someone like Kai de Wolf or Jago Geerts will just walk away from it. It's going to be tough, it's going to be difficult, and the riders will know that they've been in a Grand Prix that weekend.
Hello everybody, welcome to the FIA Motocross World Championship round 13. It's the Monster Energy MXGP of Flanders. We are at Lommel once again for this 13th round. We're live on MXGP-TV with me, Paul Malin, and the rest of the crew. And what a weekend we've got in store as well. A brand new racetrack, brand new layout, but it's the same old Lommel, same old deep, same old holes. Will the same old suspects, the usual suspects, rise to the top, or will there be new winners and grinners standing on the top steps of the podium this weekend?
The physicality comes from braking bumps in different places. You're in those little 180 switchbacks, so you're already slowing for those turns, they're tight. You're getting on the gas, the bumps are appearing a lot quicker, whereas in the past, the racetrack has been more open, more flowing. You can dance on the top. Now they're going to be sort of struggling just to get out of the bottom of the sand, so it's going to be a real challenge for sure.
The Fly Racing 15-second board up here. The MX2 ramp qualifying race in Lommel. Monster Energy MXGP of Flanders. Imperative to get a good start here. Technique alone will not win this race. We've had good clean start so far as Sasha Coonan, riders down at the back. Peter Pollock was one of them. Somebody else has gone straight on, taking the long way round, but emerging at the front of the field in turn 2. Jago Geerts leads the way. Nicely done there from Lucas Coonan, picking up the front end. Again, looking for the smooth line on the exit. These holes are bigger, deeper, and more brutal than they look on TV. If you went out on track now and walked around this circuit, you would be like, how are these guys riding at this pace around this racetrack and maintaining their focus, their composure, their consistency? Just lost a little bit of time there, searching for new lines, Lucas Coonan, but he's got one or two more corners in which to do something about it, and a mistake there from Langenfelder, and Koenen takes his opportunity. The fans erupt out on the hillside. It's a Belgium 1-2 on the final lap. Jago Geerts weathered the storm from behind. He is 2 corners away from taking his 6th grand qualifying race of the campaign. And Jago Geerts crosses the line. He will start from pole position. We are going to have one heck of a Grand Prix tomorrow.
After the qualifying race in MX2 at Lommel, all of a sudden we've got 2 riders tied for 2nd place with Kai de Wolf, who didn't look himself, Jago Geerts winning the qualifying race, and Adamo putting in a good solid performance. He actually extended his lead over Kai to 37 points. Difference now is there are 2 riders on 37 points. All Adamo has to do is get through the Grand Prix. Doesn't have to be on the podium, but just take good solid points to keep that gap, let's say more than 25 points if you can, heading into the next round in Finland. The Grand Prix itself was sensational for a lot of reasons. Jago Geerts came away from there having won the qualifying race and winning both races. Andrea Adamo put up a good fight in race 1. But race 2, the wheels came completely off. When you go down, when you crash, even if you tip over, but when you fall and you're in that zone and you're in that flow, it just knocks the wind out of you almost. Yeah, you pick yourself up, you get on the bike as quickly as you can. But the focus is gone, the momentum is gone. It sometimes takes 1 or 2 laps to get going and back on that pace to breathe again. But not as bad a Grand Prix as what Kai de Wolf had.
Seems to hold him for a long time. Everts in the middle in the blue. And again, it's Koenen and Langenfelder. Koenen, though, just losing the front end. Pollock down again as he was. And look at the back. Liam Everts in that distinctive blue gear. And riders upside down. Is that Kai de Wolf? I think it may have been.
Now, what we saw was him crashing in turn 2 with a guy called Scott Schmolders. He picked himself up, but he's right at the back. And he has to absolutely lay everything on the line. But around about half distance, Kai de Wolf is suddenly out of the race, and we don't know why. Talking to Rasmus Jorgensen in between the break, he said, we're going to put a PR out on Monday, but he did get injured on Wednesday during the week. He has an injury. He's not riding himself. With him going into race 1 tied on points with Jago, and Jago winning both races, he's already 50 points off of 2nd place in the championship. They just said, right, enough is enough. We pull him out of Finland, we pull him out of the next GPs, and we go from there. Effectively, the championship is over for Kai de Wolf. Probably one of the most impressive performances was Simon Langenfelder. 3rd overall, 2 third-place finishes. Yes, he's got form. He's won races in the European Championship in the 125 category around Lommel. So he obviously knows how to ride sand, doesn't mind riding sand. However, when he got injured after winning the Spanish Grand Prix, any sand dates planned for testing were thrown out of the window because obviously he sat out with a broken arm. And going into Lommel, he only had 1 session in the sand on the Wednesday. So that was it. So virtually no sand riding since Sardinia round 2. Comes in and just minds his own business. 2 solid starts, 2 third-place finishes on the podium. For him, that was almost as good as a win. Lucas Koenen, nobody really knew where he would fit in going into Lommel. First home Grand Prix. Yes, he's ridden the MX2 GP round there in the past, or maybe 125, but riding your home Grand Prix for the first time, a little bit extra pressure. 16 years old as well, don't forget. But what he did was also sensational because he shown that he was right in the mix right from the very first lap. Was probably 3-4 laps from taking a race win in race 1 because he certainly kept Jago Geerts honest. But in the end, Geerts' experience just seemed to outweigh the inexperience of the 16-year-old. Had he have got a good start in race 2, might have been a different story. Did he have the speed? Yes. Could he have challenged for the race win and therefore the Grand Prix victory? Possibly. So he had to be content with 2nd. And you saw it on the podium as well. Normally, you're pleased to be on the podium, any position, but he's got used to winning now. So when he sort of made his way onto the podium, it was almost like a 2nd was all I could do, sorry, you know. Dude, you got nothing to apologize for. What you did was sensational.
I give you an information. Please, Sasha, Luca, come on! Okay.
Lommel really is the heart of motocross. I mean, many people that live there, they live and they breathe the sport. The crowd, even on Saturday, was totally electrifying.
Everybody, welcome to round 13 of the F5 Motocross World Championship, the Monster Energy MXGP of Flanders.
You didn't even need to watch the race, and you knew when a Belgian rider was going past. The atmosphere, the screams from the crowd were totally electrifying. And that just says so much about the atmosphere and the passion of Belgian motocross.
Glenn Koldenoff on pole for the first time this year, and for the first time since he won the qualifying race in Spain last year. Romain Febvre goes to line 2nd, ahead of Calvin Valandren, Jeremy Seawell, Jorge Prado. Never been to this place, it's worth putting it on your to-do list, whether that's as a rider or as a spectator. You know what, the only saving grace these guys have had today is that it's not 28 degrees It's still a grueling contest though. Romain Febvre, he wins race 1 at the toughest place of all. Five race wins now for the Frenchman. Final moments then before we get things underway here. 2 minutes before the gate drop for MXGP Race 2.
Everybody wants to win Lommel. When Romain Febvre won the first race, he set himself up for a potential second victory round there. But when he messed up the start, going into that first turn, he somehow just got held up and was right at the back, 25th, 26th.
Harry Koulas again trying to get across everybody, but he's going to run wide. And it might have been Fernandez, it might have been Siwa. We'll have to take another look, but it's Siwa who leads through the second turn. Where is Febvre? He is in 20th place. He was the second Kawasaki rider going through those couple of turns. So Febvre, your winner from race 1, has got a lot of work to do, but Prado is going for the jugular here. He stays low, and he finds his way into the lead. He will get a pit board at some point, so too will Siwa, to say that Febvre down in around about 15th, 16th place. That's Evans, the lead Kawasaki rider. There's the second of the Kawasaki rider, is Febvre.
And so all of a sudden you think, there goes the win.
Definitely giving himself a lot of work to do.
He has a special style. Looks very small on the bike. In the end, all that matters, I think, is the results. I will describe him like a fighter, and he always gives 100%, even in his trainings, you know, during the week. Because many riders, they just go, and if they feel, oh, I'm a bit tired, yeah, then they drop back, you know. But he just keeps on going until the end. So he follows, and he's really always giving it 100% on trainings. And that's, I think, what made a rider that great. If a guy really wants to fight, really wants to go, you always gonna see that also during the race weekends.
What we saw in race 2 from Romain Febvre was nothing short of sensational.
Making up for a poor start then, Romain Febvre has found his way through to 14th at the end of that opening lap. Up on the pegs, Febvre goes through. Going to need all of his strength, all of his concentration, all of his sand riding prowess. Febvre has found his way past Ferrato. And he's already found his way past Van Hoorbeek as well. Goes after Bogus. Talk about having to dig deep. Now, where is he? He's up in the 7th place, wow.
He just kind of arrived, passed, onto the next, arrived, passed, onto the next.
And that's going to put him in a podium position, but he's not happy with the podium. He wants to win the Grand Prix, but with Jorge Prado 5 seconds clear of Siwa, Febvre now up into 7th place. He's still got a mountain to climb. Febvre is closing in on Harry Koulas. Out, and they come together. Well, heart-in-the-mouth moment there for Romain Febvre.
And it goes back to the point of racing the track and treading that fine line of running the risk of making one mistake. He knew his limit, he stuck to it, and he was passing riders like he was on a flat track and they were riding around Lommel in the second moto. The way he rode, you saw he wasn't going to leave anything on the table. He wasn't going to go down without a fight.
Roman Febvre eating into the advantage of Koldenhoff and Verlanderen, and ahead of him, but not with stuff like that he won't be. He is absolutely on the fine line. Febvre is past Verlanderen and up into 5th place. Fernandez now 4th. He's slow to get out of the turn. An easy pass then for Roman Febvre as he moves into 4th place. Going to be 2nd overall, 43 points. Crucial that he finds his way past both these Yamahas if he is to stand on the top step of the podium. Continues, but he is having to do absolutely everything in his power to reel these guys in.
He can really, go until the end, you know, almost until the level where he's gonna pass out.
No rest, no let up, not a flat line out there. The unpredictable nature of the track and back markers ahead of you as you fight at speed, at pace. And here comes Koldenhoff, he leaps past, he flies by Koldenhoff and into 3rd place. That is going to tie Febvre for the overall win. He needs Seewer, he needs to pass the Swiss if he is to stand on the top step of the podium.
After the first moto, you saw your place, you saw what you have to do, let's say to do a podium or to do a victory. So without analyzing so much, you know which is your place. It's just by instinct it goes like this, you know which rider is on the front of you or is on the back.
But it's Febvre who is the one that's running the risk at the moment, risking everything. Because this is the kind of racetrack where you can't afford to race. You go too hard, it will bite you. You have to be methodical. But Febvre's got no choice. He's got no choice. This gap is coming down. This is where he, backhand snatches away from Jeremy Seewer. This is going to be probably one of the biggest wins. A mistake there from Seewer. He can hear Febvre down the inside. He's got to commit. That's exactly what he does. And Febvre up into 2nd, and that will be a Grand Prix winning position if he can hold it for the next 6 minutes plus 2.
And when he got into 2nd, he didn't stop there either. He still believed he could win the race.
Even if we know that we are on the podium, if we are not first on the race, then we try to gain as much as we can on position because it's point for the championship.
He's 5 seconds away from Jorge Prado as well. He is absolutely on fire, this Febvre. What a finale we're having here. The gap between Jorge Prado and Roman Febvre is visibly shrinking.
But he also knew whilst he was in 2nd and laps were ticking down, 2nd would also be enough for the GP win because Jorge was 3rd in race 1.
The gap 3.1 seconds. We've got less than 2 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Nothing in it between Prado and Febvre.
Up until the final half lap, he was still within a second or so. And at some point, you just see the body language just go, I'm done. You have the race win, I'll take the Grand Prix victory.
But what a heroic effort this has been from Roman Febvre. He's up on the pegs. He's thrown in the towel.
He was outside the top 20 and he just puts on a huge charge through traffic to get to P2 to win the overall GP. Talking about it now gives me goosebumps. And just speaking to Antti, he says talking about that performance from his rider gives him goosebumps, and it's something that no one expected. Even Roman, I don't think he expected to have that energy and that fire in his belly.
So the satisfaction of coming through that battle, coming through that war that he put himself in, was so satisfying that he was able to stand on the top step of the podium at Lommel, the toughest race. Everybody wants to win Lommel.